You know what's interesting? Those little cosmetical things that don't at all affect gameplay. Nope, not at all. Well, first off, I'm not gonna start a whole bilefest about whether or not they affect gameplay. Even though they do, that's for another time. Today, let's talk about the aftermath of these purchases. Obviously, a lot of companies have quickly sniffed out that you can make more money, in fact a lot more money, by offering their patrons some add-ons to their favorite meal, and now, more well-known games that offer these quote-unquote add-ons make as much or more often more out of them than actual game sales. This is a simple fact. And because of that, you also start to question, then why do you even need the upfront price for the game? Why not just make it free to play, right? Well, that's a good question. Still, as companies keep making money from said microtransactions, they feel the need to keep pushing out newer and newer content. So after years of development, what is left after the game's death? When you look at your favorite game that has microtransactions, think back to the moment when it was released and how it is now. For this, let's take my favorite example and horse to beat, the free-to-play game named PlanetSide 2, and a slightly less deader horse but a premium game named Elite Dangerous. Now, in the case of PlanetSide 2, team developing it expects players to support it through purchases of different cosmetical and not so cosmetical changes. It also has been in development for about 6 years, not counting all the betas and other stuff before the release. I remember how this game looked when it first came out. All the characters had expected shapes, looks and colors, but after years upon years of pumping out more and more, let's just say, daring visual improvements, some of the things that you can plaster your characters with can obscure heavily what the original thing was supposed to be. And so, over time, the original vision and the original aesthetic that more often is created to help player understand what the universe and things in it are about now have been bastardized so far due to constant sheer shameless alteration of the original design that you might as well be playing a completely different game with completely different backstory or design and not feel the difference. Homogeny of the design and what kind of legacy will you leave is up to really the strength and will of those that actually exercise some restraint. As for Elite, well, as a matter of fact, recently the team over at Frontier decided to release a couple of ship cosmetics or ship kits that were nothing but mostly repackaged, reused assets from other ship kits, which is in part what inspired this video. And this is another part of the constant shameless wallet bleeding exercise. This one is called laziness. It's nice to know that whoever it is in the company that makes these calls think that people are stupid enough not to notice the copy-pasted assets being offered for... Wait, how much was this? Oh right, it's 7 quid or 9 bucks and some cents. You know, people say you should work for your money, but I guess sometimes it's just too much to do a full job, right? Nintendo? Still, everything that has been created and will stay with the game until the end. And so, ask yourself, would I like to see the game I like to end up with a clown nose, spiked clothes, glowing face paint, found dead on the toilet one day? The people that create these cosmetics for our games are often different people than the original creators that had the vision for the game and sculpted it to create the best they can. It's just your neighborhood hobo Bob who comes in one day for the work and is asked to create something that would sell. So the thing that usually sells is not the alternative look that would usually blend in the same way original would in the game world. It would be the thing that stands out more. And so the cycle goes on where everyone just creates better, bigger, more standout-ish things, and by the end of it you can't even recognize what the original thing was supposed to be in the first place. Do I expect anything to change? No, not really. Today's tale was more about exercising restraint and artistic integrity, but those are just concepts that only few still remember, let alone have. We move on, and tomorrow we might even see a glow-in-the-dark armor for stealth soldiers or vehicles of war, because that makes sense, and whoever makes this has since stopped giving a fuck anyways. So consume away, consume away.